I know over the years I've heard you explain to people many times, just simplify grunting. What is the different grunting sounds in your mind?
Deer grunt, both bucks and does grunt, and they'll grunt year round to communicate, to keep up with each other, just little sounds. But as they get into an activity like the rut, it begins to mean something totally different. I've had bucks and deer be curious at a grunt, especially when they're moving through a thick spot and I'm off to the edge. I think they can't see me and grunt at them. They'll look over there like.
You're just talking about just a communication.
Just a communication. Yeah. Just communication. That's all it is. It's nothing threatening. Sometimes that buck wants company, sometimes he doesn't. Then as you move closer into the pre-rut, the rut, the pre-rut and the rut, it means something intensive and it's serious. And bucks grunt, they grunt louder, and then it gets into the roar. And a roar is typically another buck saying to another buck, we're fixing to fight. Get out, get away from it. They're usually defending a doe. That's when I've heard it and seen it the most. When a buck is defending a doe and another buck shows up, he'll turn to that buck and let him know.
He's big, man. I remember hearing that in Pike County, Illinois for the first time, and I'd heard it before and I didn't pick up what it was. But when you say a roar, this is your regular grunt. But when you say a roar, it's a.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know, when we learned to do that, we just had regular grunt calls. Hardwood grunter, I remember I told it for so did you. But when you try to get loud like that, it wouldn't hold. It sound like it'd go to sound like a duck call.
It took some work.
And you got this chamber figured out.
Resonator right there, yeah.
And it didn't. It carried that guttural sound instead of getting into that ducky sound. I guess that's how to explain it.
Yeah, and so it holds that sound real well. And that roar, the next step is the wheeze. And once you hear that roar, and then you hear that eyes are usually rolling back, that head is twisted, and that hair's bristled up.
It's going to be a fight.
It's going to be a fight.
Gotcha. He's either going to fight or intimidate that other deer, other buck.
Yeah, and a perfect example of that, one buck's telling another buck, it's fixing to be trouble, buddy. And one is on that hunt with Troy in Kansas.
Yep.
And that buck comes walking across that food plot, and those other deer were right close to them. And I think it was a doe and a smaller buck. But that buck didn't like it. And he wanted to tell that little buck, here I is. Yeah, and you better not be messing with me. It's going to be trouble. He wheezed. It was great wheeze. Yeah.
People asked me, said, can you do that in Mississippi? Well, at your farm, Rivers Run years ago, I remember a deer coming in there and did that buck roar. And I mean, this is the Mississippi Delta, just that. You know, he was like,
and was he with a doe?
He was behind a doe, and they came in there pushing him around.
He's trying to tell that doe to stop. He's aggravated. Come on now. All the other bucks in the area hear that. They know what that means. They know that another buck is with a doe, and they're going to come to that. That's why you do it.
Yep.
That's why you try to use this to send the message out, to speak the language and send the message out, hey, I'm a buck.
Now, my favorite time, talking about that, to hit on what you just said, is if you see a deer 100 yards, 200 yards, you know, that's why you snort wheeze, or that's why you do that roar, that loud sound.
Get their attention.
Get their attention and get them to look over there, and then you can.
What
when
we
they turn.
usually do, we switch to the can. Once we get their attention, I want them coming for the.
You want this sound right here? 'Cause,
That's what I want.
oh, there's a doe with it.
Yeah, and now he's really interested, and he's going to be intense. So that's why your setup is so important. Once again, you set up on the edge of a treetop, a creek bank, a thicket, a cane thicket, something that makes the deer have to hunt you.
You're looking for you instead of keying in. And I've had a lot of people ask me about blind calling. If you're in a cutover, say, where you say it's 100 acres and it's real thick, it's okay to roar and can and do
Be
do it
quiet for
blindly.
10 or 15 minutes.
Yep, because there might be one out there doing you can't see, and he hears that.
Yep, bleat. Yeah, start bleating every 30 seconds. Wait 30 seconds. Wait a little bit longer, then be quiet for a while.
But the biggest mistake I know hunters make is they get excited. Don't use a can, a grunt, anything. If that deer could see
Wheeze
you,
or anything.
if he can key in on your spot like you're saying, like if he's within 50 yards, you say, I just want him to get 10 or 20 more yards. If you look in his eyes and you make a sound, he's going, boom.
Yep.
And you know what happens then?
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, once they, they'll question their eyes and they'll question their ears. If they smell you, it's over. But if they see something, and poof, they're trying to get you to move. And you'll watch them. They'll try to look away and then look back real quick.
It's funny how they do that.
They're trying to fake you into moving, and so that they can really identify you.
Well, look, no matter where you are in the country, when it comes rut time, and you're part of the United States, you really need to have one of these in your backpack.
No doubt.
It might only work once or twice the whole season. It might work 10 times.
When it does, it's magical.
You won't ever. Once you see it happen, you'll always have one.
That's right. Your confidence level go way up.